So, I figured out the golden path. Basically what I did was I took a bunch of screenshots of the pages that looked relevant. And then basically, because it was such a, I spent a little too much time zooming in or focusing a little too much on a specific part. But taking a, kind of a full view helped me to figure out what I needed to do, actually. Because it's like, all these numbers are confusing. So I'm like, okay, well, this page says the golden path. I mean, it just says page 49, which seems pretty straightforward. But, there's like other pages that said things or had kind of vague enough looking ideas behind it. I'm trying to remember. This was a bit ago, because basically I took screenshots and looked at it, and also was trying to figure out the text, and still struggled with that. Like this page mentions page 49, so I'm like, okay, well that might be important. This page has these numbers, which look like the golden path one. I'm sure there were other things. I looked at this one because of those numbers. I'm confident they're unrelated now, but, I was unsure. This one because I didn't know what to do with the save data bit that we did, and I'm like, that kind of looks golden. I also took some screenshots of the pages that had the, text box being golden, like the, I don't know if that's 41. Never actually looked at that one. What's page 41? I know this is, really exciting right now. Page 41 just shows you that. There was another page that I tried to take a screen. The one that shows where the hero graves are. Wherever that might have been. There we go, this one. Because it mentions the mountain. Thought maybe that was important. Anyways, basically, scrolling through those pages instead of flipping through all of them, I saw that on this page, there are 3 22s. And that kind of just helps to, put it all together real quick. So basically, with that, I thought about how I noticed this at some point. And thought, that's a weird looking cloud, it's probably important. So that's on page 33. And guess what? 33 shows up on this. So all of the numbers correlate to a page, and we just have to find the lines to work with. So that was a pretty fun moment for me. I regrettably didn't record any of this because basically I took pictures on my phone and just looked at it when I had free time. So I was like, well, I don't have to really worry about playing the game. I just have to look at these. So let me just take a screenshot of every page. And that was when I figured it out. I also thought taking a screenshot of all the pages would help me with translating the text as well. But anyways, that's pretty amazing. And honestly, I think it's a great, finale to this. The final secret. Well, final, I guess. Whatever page 1 has will be our final secret. But anyways, I was going to just get the pattern down. Since I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be pretty simple. So I had I started to write it down, and then immediately I realized this might be a bit more of a puzzle just looking at this. So we'll go through it ourselves. For example, page 12 is going to be the first one that connects to the line that's shown. And as soon as I got to this page, I'm like, I don't see anything. But there's a little square that's written right there. So I wrote that one down. And after I saw that one and had to look at the page for a minute, I'm like, okay, some of these might be a bit more of a puzzle. Let me actually get a pen real quick. Sorry. Some of these might be a bit more of a puzzle than just looking at the page and seeing it. So we'll go through this now. I have the grid written down so we don't have to go back to the page. So 16 will be our next one. Basically, what I want to do is follow it in the order that the lines are going to match up. So we will, I guess, look back at the page real quick just to show you what I mean. Is we have 49. So starting from that one, we go to 12, and 12 goes up and left, so that means we go to 16 next. I figured that way, at least I can be more confident that I'm getting the right lines down. Because, I feel like there's a chance I might not be so sure. But especially page 22 is a little vague to me. So, the only thing I can see here is going to be, like, the background, I guess. I guess we have to kind of assume it goes up like that. Well, also, it's going to be at the bottom corner, so it has to. It really has no choice. Alright, so 34 is next. That's 34. Oh, okay. I guess I noticed this before. Like, there's a lot of things I noticed, too. For instance, I didn't look exactly at it. But the world map, I always noticed this one being weird. And I guess I never correlated it to where we actually were. I think that's where we did the flower puzzle with the cross. And also in here, at some point, I noticed this little corner. So I'm assuming those are going to be what we're looking for on those pages. But this is just going to be a really roundabout thing. It's going to suck when these squares don't quite match up. I'm also a little worried about, like, whether or not things are going to be a dash to represent a double. Like this one, you can easily tell it's going to be a double, but some of them I'm a little worried about. Like I said, going into page 22, I'm not confident. So 46 is our next one. Which I also looked at that and thought it looked weird. So, I mean, most of these are going to be like... The main thing, too, that kind of helped me to figure this out was at some point I was thinking about the fact that we haven't done anything with the save point yet. Alright, so now we're here, and that's going to loop along that. So once I like matched that up, I did look and saw that the page for the save point was on there as a number, so that's going to be the one I need to take. Kind of cornered this a bit awkwardly. It's not the most beautiful drawing by any means, but it's going to be there. So, okay, so 22, this is the thing. I'm assuming it's based on these, because, you know, it's golden. I don't know if that matters. But my problem is, like, it doesn't quite connect. And I don't know, do we only do the circle? Or is it going to just zigzag the whole way? I guess I should probably just question mark the ones that I'm not sure about. But my assumption is that it probably is going to be, like, up, left, up, right, up, left. The problem is, though, then this one's a long one. Does that mean a double? I'm going to assume no, because I think it would be more clearly defined. But I guess I'm going to put a question mark on this, so I know if I fail where to go back and maybe rethink things. I wrote that question mark for real. You can't tell me I didn't. So I'm assuming then that means 15. So yeah, I feel like some of these I'm not going to be too confident about. Oh, and 15's back to that. So the good thing is, so far this does match up with 15. I say so far because the biggest problem is going to be when I get like near the end and it doesn't match up. So we're on page 27. Okay, so this is, I guess, going to be straight up, but with a dash in between. There's not like anything else here, right? I think that would have to be what it is. But see, that's kind of concerning because it, technically, I guess it could be a left to right or right to left with a big dash. Then again, the up and down is the longest dash, so it makes sense. So that goes to 48. I'm gonna assume it has to be that. Especially because, oh god, my thing isn't really marked right. Because this is in the top left corner, so it would make sense. It obviously needs to reach the right side. Okay, page 11. I went too far. Guess I never realized that that was like differently colored. It's funny like that some of these I did notice, and then like other ones just only in hindsight are like, yep, that makes sense. Okay, 21. I think 21's actually really obvious which one it would be. Hoping the size of the light doesn't mean anything. Yep, and that's still the good the Actually, I'm a little concerned about this one. I'm assuming the big means it goes down, left, down, right, but then we don't really have a way forward from there. I mean, realistically, we did 22, so it would have to go to 4. I guess I'm going to write it down and hope for the best. Can't turn the page when I'm zoomed in. 4. What? What a... Oh, you know what? It doesn't connect there. So, 2 might loop around, I think. I hope, I guess. You know, some of this is a little concerning. Yeah, that loops around. That was one of the ones I noticed too. Because that was, you know, that was pretty apparent that it looked weird. So far, I'm feeling pretty good. Right now, they're connecting very well. $50? Is it the way those bricks are lined up? I don't really like that, because I'm not overly confident about the way it looks. I think what it would be is keep going right, then up into 6. And I guess on 42, it's going to have to loop around to a square like that. This one I'm not really sure about, but I don't see any other option. I'm a little afraid of this one. I wrote my question mark. We'll see how 6 is. Is 6 going to be the save point? I'm glad I labeled... No, 6 is this, which will work. 52. I did not label a lot of stuff in my notes. So, like, I see a lot of lines that I had done before and did not actually look to see, what they were. Is that a double? I think so. I don't think anything else there would be a double. I don't like the way that just fades. Double dash, down, down, and then fades away. 42 is going to be the deciding factor on whether or not something goofed up. Is it this? The, like, margin here? I don't know if that counts as a margin. But, like, you know, the in-between stuff? It would work. It absolutely would work. And I don't see anything else. Okay, I set the controller down. Didn't mean to go that far. I mean, I think it's right. It would work with that square that we did with the mountain door. I can't imagine it's a coincidence that it matches up well with what I did on the other one, so. Alright, and we saw this one before. $31. We saw that one before. I showed that one off. I feel like it's a shame that we technically have more puzzle to do after this, because this is like a really strong finish. I was gonna say that I write this wrong, but like, what else would it have been but page 40? That is kind of a scummy one, because it's like, it's only presented by the fact that there's coffee stains. Otherwise, I don't think there would have been a big indication, but it's there. I think I noticed that at some point, too. On to 18. Huh. It is 18. What am I looking for? It can't be a straight line. And it can't, like, zigzag to a straight line. There we go. Oh my god. Yeah, that one I never really noticed. I would not have noticed that if it wasn't for the fact that we had the page to look for. And there's a dash there. I wonder if anyone ever, like, solved this to the extent of they realized that there were weird lines, but never realized it connected to the, Golden Path page. We're almost done. Because I could imagine, like, making all of the blocks. Well, it wouldn't necessarily completely work. Because it's not like the lines completely line up. It's just some instances would. So I don't know how possible it would be. Would this just be... I mean, that wouldn't really work. What would I be looking for here? Is it the fact that this is kind of lit up and then there's a... Oh my god. Like, some of these are, like, super vague. Like, I never would have thought that that was anything. Compared to, like, the sun on the, atoll, like, castle in the sky map. I wanted to, like, make sure I got, like, a full picture of it so I didn't screw it up. Because this is gonna suck to have to run through all of this over again just because I, screwed one up. I'm gonna assume it's that. I don't see anything else, and that seems pretty obvious. It also matches up with page 12, which, if you need a quick reminder, was this one. So we're going back up to 9, which has to be the save file at this point. So, like, there's nothing here, I don't think, that would be a path, except the save file. And I'm assuming based on, like, that and, you know, it's a block, that this has to be it. Okay, here's my note with the save file. I did try to put it, like, somewhere where I could easily grab it, since I knew I was going to use it. Oh. And then the final page is page 55. Sorry, want to double check. Which ends up being this one. So I think that would be the start point because it's a giant one, but I'm not actually positive. We need to make our way up the mountain. I wanted to just do this in that room too because it was, you know, it was kind of a, it was like chill music, right? Like it's a good thinking room. Actually, I think it would be quicker if I... Would it be quicker? Yeah, it would be quicker, I think, if I, like, run around here. Then again, I think there might have been a, grapple point. This has kind of been a couple of days after I've, recorded all of the other attempts at exploring routes. Yeah, I think that was probably the best way to go up here. So I kind of, don't remember exactly everything about the map layout. I'm gonna be so excited when this doesn't work. Okay, hopefully. The thing is, too, I could also just screw up putting the input in, so it might look right. Wish me luck. Didn't work. It was the other way around. Okay, it was from the outside in. It was from the outside in. I was like, oh god. Let's go. You know, like, I don't know, the back cover looked like it was a giant one, so that made me think that was more special. My thought was, if that didn't work, what I probably should do, because it is kind of hard to try to track the path on my paper. Not that I drew it bad, I drew it very well, honestly. But the fact that, it's a lot to track, it would probably be better if I write the commands down, like up, left, right, instead of following the line, but it worked out, so it's fine. And I was right, it's the final page. Yo, how sick do you think this cover's gonna look? I'm a little disappointed, I'm gonna be honest. I was hoping there was gonna be, like, crazy art on it. I don't know. Maybe not crazy art, but some kind of art. But that's fine. I like the wear and tear on it. Look at all of these credits. Like, this is the... wouldn't it be crazy if this was the only way you got the credits for the game? Dear player, you've come a long way, haven't you? You probably found a lot of secrets. Maybe you stumbled across the hidden trophy room. Perhaps you even freed every fairy. I did free every fairy. We hope you've had fun, but there's at least one more thing for you to do. If this is your final page, you should pay a visit to a certain someone and share your wisdom. Thank you so much for playing my game. Keep this letter, you never know when it will be useful. Do not dispose of or eat this document. What is that? I mean, these were all credits. Like, logos at the start. Obviously, there is a star there. And what was the page? Like, 38, I think? Nope. It was in the notes, wasn't it? Or close enough to the notes. Shh. It's a secret. Well, I'm gonna be a little bit honest here. The reason it took me so long was not because I was trying to just figure out the golden path. It's actually because I was able to translate the text. This isn't the right page. My moment of triumph is kind of poor right now. So, basically, let's go over that real quick. So basically, I didn't want to make any assumptions when I started translating. You can assume that maybe the top one means fox because of the image and the bottom one means sword, but also you can maybe assume it meant hero and weapon, stuff like that. What really helped me was making a bigger assumption that these all meant north, south, west, east. So, what I initially was going to do for the compass puzzle was I drew those out, and then I was going to split them up to try to work with it like this. And I did. I split them up for actually solving this. I need to... My notes are all over the place. I'm so sorry. I don't know where they are. Where are my notes? But I didn't want to make the assumption about those ones specifically. That being said, north, south, west, east, I basically just thought they either mean like compass directions or up, down, left, right. I surely can find... There we go, I found the page. So, what it ended up being was trying to cross-reference everything. Which, like, I'm sure the process would have been, like, fun for me to, like, realize and for you to see that. But this took me a couple of hours, and also, kind of split between times. And like I said, I did take screenshots with my phone and use that instead of actually being in the game. So, like, I was away when doing this. I brought some, like, paper, took notes, and then just kind of worked through it. So what you kind of have is, like, with these ones, you have the first image there, the, like, straight vertical line with the 2 dashes, and you have it here as well. I think I was pretty confident that that had to be sword because it's, like, smaller text. That one I wasn't so sure about. So I took like that into consideration as sword. So it's like part of this has to be an S, part of it has to be an O. So I took that and tried to cross-reference it with this one. And what I found was, pay no attention to the like circled parts. That ends up being up, left, right, and down, but I was right about these being the directions. So south has the vertical line in there, but it also has like a weird like bonus dash at the bottom. So I'm like, okay, well, south sword, that has to be S. And I think was just anything that like was the same. The one that was with the S is the plus one that's to the right there, was on which direction? Give me a minute. I think it was on north. Yes, it's on north. It's not as easy to see. Looking at this from the in-game manual page worked a lot better for me. Is that even... Yeah, it's really awkward looking on this. I actually started to doubt myself looking at that right now, so give me a minute. You can kind of get a better view of it here. So, the, one thing, I kind of made this assumption and it turned out right. The horizontal line basically denotes that it is a word, and every time that breaks, that means a new word, so like a space. That isn't really relevant to this one. But basically, north has that other symbol, and then it also has a kind of like... It's really hard to explain it without like pointing and I guess showing a little bit of my notes, but even that, explaining it that way is going to be a little rough. The second one on these was the other one that north has. So, north sword, what do they have in common? O. Probably an O. Doesn't really make sense though, because now I have one extra letter, which based on what I already have, maybe is like an R or a D. Basically by connecting north with sword, I eventually found out that most of the letters are phonetic. So, what that meant is that the one next to the S here, the plus, the one that's like more diamond shape, is OR, or OR. So we have an S. Was it? Gosh darn it, give me a minute, let me just double check. Yeah, OR, so it's sword, like, W's silent in sword, I just like to pronounce it like that because I'm an asshole. So it's sword, which means we're missing the D, which means that peace sign, the like vertical with the two dashes out, has to be a D. So that all connects, and that's great. A bit of a problem with this though, also, which made me a little less confident, is that all of these cardinal directions are actually missing the last part of their word. So north has what I then assumed was that the other letter on north, because we have or, had to have been an N, because that would be a nor, but we don't have a th, which ends up being one of the letters as well. It's basically the full peace sign where it like intersects, and the upside down like tree peace sign. What I kind of struggled with for a bit, I'm grabbing the wrong notes, I'm so sorry, is that like you have the two different branches, the one that looks like a tree and the one that looks like a tree upside down. Both are THs, but it's like different pronunciations of it. And I'm not really, I mean, I already said I say sword like an asshole, so I'm not really great with pronunciation, so sometimes things just kind of doubled up and I wasn't sure why. I have like 3 different A's here, because it's like ah, eh. It's a little all over the place, so my translations aren't perfect, but they work well enough. So then, like, you know, other page, give me a minute. East and west did not have anything connected, but I think East did have a S attached to it as well. So based on the assumption that there basically wasn't going to be an end letter, I said, well, the other one has to be an E. And it was an E. So then, you know, one thing led to the other. That ended up being Fox. It's a lot of letters for Fox. What is it? It's S. Looking at the wrong note again. It was S and... Excuse me. No. So, okay, no. That... God damn it. Right, because that doesn't make any sense. So this is a little funky because they, like, etched out the top there. And this is kind of what I was, I didn't want to even touch this to begin with when I was trying to explore and do other stuff before I did this. So that's not an S. The S is at the end of Fox, which they also circled for us. That's very nice. Which isn't an X, but S, Fox, it kind of works together. Because what you end up having is that the first letter on that plus, I believe, is the F. Also, based on assumptions, you can assume that's the F. Wait a minute. Now I'm confusing myself. What am I looking at? So it's that plus... The plus is like... Oh, I see what I'm confusing myself with. And it's something I've struggled with when trying to translate some other stuff. So you have down here, the fourth one is like up and then diagonal to the right. But then over here you also have an up and diagonal. And that's the outer diamond. So what this is F and outer diamond. So that's what's confusing me. The outer diamond one is O, or like Ah. It's more precisely Ah, but when I translated it, I was trying to go for O. Eventually I found out it was Ah. The middle one is going to be K. So it's F-A-K-S, Fox. Again, and that's like really where the more phonetic stuff comes into play. So that being said, I did translate this. And I will find the translation of it. I'll find it, damn it. God, my notes really are all over the place. Like, I don't know, I'll montage show them or something, but I don't know how readable most of them are gonna be. Why the frick did I put this one? I'll find it. There it is. I found it. So I didn't quite get what this was trying to tell me, but now I very much do get what it's trying to say. Did you... And also, I didn't translate perfectly. So I don't... The third word I'm not sure about. Did you retain the letter from us? And also I'm writing poorly. Immerse it in water for 60 seconds to see a secret message. So I'm assuming then, based on the way that looks, I think that's the page. And based on the star, because it looked like that's the paragraph, the like message from them. They said the message from us. I'm assuming that means then the creators, which I'm assuming these are all signatures from the people that made Tunic, and submerge that in for 60 seconds. So let's go do that as I accidentally drink a potion, because again, I'm a little frantic about this, because it's very exciting. And again, I am sorry that the pop-off of figuring this out wasn't shown, but it amounted to many hours of me like trying to translate the rest of the text, because what I also did, I mentioned it before. I don't know, can I see screenshots? Where do I see my screenshots? Don't pay attention to other screenshots. Go media. Very awkward media. Yeah, I've been playing Monster Hunter. Don't worry about it. I mentioned I went to take screenshots of these. And I do have that written somewhere as well. But what it amounted... I dropped my page. What it amounted to was a again, making assumptions, but the assumptions was, really use my other page. So, like, making assumptions based on, like, things. So, that is the same as getting the key, which means it has to be something like, found item, I think is actually what it is. But it had to be, like, got item. But, you know, since we have F, we can see that the first one is F. And the middle, the last one on, because I can't find right now where I actually translated this. I'm sorry. I have, like, different things that I tried to write. Is it on this page? Oh, there it is. So it's... Oh, okay, yeah, it's the F, and then there's another dash. It took... Trying to visualize the two separate parts was a little bit difficult and took me some time. But yeah, there's the F with an extra dash, which is assuming ow, because the other one is an N and the other one is a D, so the extra letter had to be like ow, found. Then the one in the middle is an N with a something. I think it was an, I think. Like, it was found an item, I'm pretty sure is what the actual thing was. And then, use stuff like that. That helped a lot. I'm glad I took screenshots of those, because those did help. I don't want my stick. Speaking of stick, actually, god damn it. I was messing around, and I realized that I actually did do this right when I was testing it. I just didn't realize that the projectile changed color. So what it amounts to... God, I'm so sorry. I am all over the place. I didn't show it, but I did go into the sewers, and I think the question mark was actually when I opened that door from praying at the pillar. You guys wake up. So yeah, basically it's a projectile ice, which is very powerful. Would obviously make a lot of sense to use to solve the grapple hook slime problem. But I found my own way for that one. It also... it kind of costs the same amount of MP, it looks like, unless if I'm still doing it wrong. So anyways, we need to go find some water to immerse ourselves in. Very exciting stuff. Still didn't go find that chest. Honestly, I kind of forgot all about that chest at this point. Actually, this would be a very poetic place to go if there is actually water for me to walk into. So we have to sit here. So let me look at some other stuff. I guess I translate it. I'm hoping this is good enough water. I translated the story, and I probably at some point should not have written this stuff down, but it was kind of helpful for me to get letters that I didn't actually have. God, so many things. Eventually I did just kind of go look for sentences that I might have been able to figure out and like work through those to translate the rest of the letters. And then I just, after that, I went and tried to translate the full story, which we'll look at in a minute. Oh, the I looked at the note that was on the I'm sure it's probably actually fine now. It's not. I don't know if this doesn't count as water. Oh, that definitely counts as water. Also, it might not have been enough time. The note on the where the hero graves are that made me think I had to go through the mountain to get to the hero's grave basically just tells you, do you know the door to the mountain? And do you know the secret? Do you know? Okay, sorry, I'm not reading this very well. Do you know the secret way question mark. Go to the door in the mountains and check behind it, which tells you how to get to the quarry, but it also confused me greatly because I did not know how to read. The lettering on the page for the golden path also just says the golden path, the greatest spell, so it doesn't really help besides just saying, yeah, this is gonna be the big one. What I learned from our text too is apparently we are called a ruin seeker. What's next? Oh, the page that shows 22 and that it correlates with page numbers. Reading that says, and by the way, the reason I didn't say anything about this when doing the golden path is because I did the golden path, or at least figured out how to solve the golden path first, and then started to try to translate the text. So I kind of wanted to just allow that to sit and be its thing. But the page number hint says, what's the next piece of the puzzle? Every page has secrets, even this one. So that doesn't entirely tell us. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna have to translate. I know where that is. So let's actually go over there real quick before I translate. Again, I apologize. This episode's gonna be all over the place, but then again, I feel like most of the episodes by the end of this game for me were all over the place because there was a lot of solving things. So that should be this, right? Oh, the page it goes away after you get out of the water. Well, I think there's water here. I mean, it definitely looked like this. All right, well, I'll wait here and then I'm gonna try to translate it. I don't know if the text worked in the other water. I decided to come over here because I like fully immersed myself into the water here. Or I might have just been impatient when I was over by the weird, like, marking question mark bit. But, I have it. Not completely sure what it is, but I have it. I'm pretty sure it was translated correctly. So, what it says, and again, it's a shame that this goes away. But what it says is, the softest feather, correct it 11 times, depart it once more. Now, I wrote this as lines, so there's commas in it. I do really wish you could. This probably works here. I feel like there really should have been a, like, drench yourself area here, since this is clearly where you're supposed to go. The softest feather, correct it 11 times, depart it once more. So I kind of really didn't expect it to be like a full-on riddle, but I guess if you're able to translate it, seeing the words up, down, left, right would be a little too obvious because it's basically, they show it in the manual itself. It's funny, the question mark actually means up, and it was in the, give me a minute. I wanted to show it, because it was also something that I looked at to, like, kind of double check. So, you see that, like, that question mark with the circle means up, while the middle here also means up, because it brings us up to the castle. Pretty cool. One thing I forgot to mention, too, that helps with translation, which it took me, honestly, a bit too long to figure out. The little dot underneath the letters. Basically, what you have is you always, while it's phonetic, arguably the inner parts of the diamonds are, like, consonants, for the most part. Because, like, basically I have M, N, P, B, T, D, K, G, J, F, V, S, Z, H, R, and Y. Some of those are going to be combinations like TH, CH, NG, SH, but for the most part, it's consonants. What the circle actually denotes is that, when you have combined letters, the consonants and the other, like, more phonetic ones, the consonants always go first, except for when that circle's there. And that's what this is kind of trying to tell you by, like, saying, like, flip them. But I'm going to be honest, it took me a while to figure that out. I just kind of, like, took all the pieces of the words that I found and then just kind of tried to say it until it made sense. But that's beside the point. Now I need to solve for X. Which I don't know. Like, a feather... Maybe it's the, upgrade material? There's nothing for me there. I don't think this page would help. Let me see if I can try to translate this without writing it down, because that's an S. It's upside down, which is also going to be fun. It's an S to a... So, does that say sword? Does it say sword? Would that be the, That actually reminds me of something else. It doesn't say sword, does it? No, it can't say sword. It says S... I'm sorry. It's difficult. I probably should just write it down, but I don't feel like it right now. Where did I put that letter? Swamp. It says swamp. That's the swamplands. That's what that is. It took me a minute. It's hard to read it upside down, which also reminds me, which I'm sure there are many secrets, and as much as I love that there's many secrets, I don't think I can translate all of this, but I went to translate this because I thought it would be fun. And it turns out it is kind of fun. And also the reason why this puzzle couldn't just say up, left, right, down, because I think that one right there is like all of the directions. And again, I need a minute to actually find my notes on this because I did write it down. I found it. I don't know the exact order to translate this, but it was, under the moon, near an ancient tomb, lies a place plundered for its blade. Contemplate this prayer. Up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right. Yeah, that one's definitely the direction, so if you kind of can just figure that out. So... I think we need to go to where we got the sword. And there's maybe a secret, which I'm curious about. So, if this takes me too long to figure out, maybe I'll just go and check that out. So, I, came here and it didn't work, but I realized one of the things here mentions under the moon. So that probably was why it didn't work. So I don't know if I need to be, like, right on there, but let's see what this does. Up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right. Let's go. I mean, this isn't going to be, like, a treasure, though, right? Oh, okay. Thank you. Let's go solve that other puzzle now. Why not? Yay. So admittedly, I cheated a little bit. I looked up what the softest feather was and learned that owls are generally thought to have the softest feathers in general. Some, like elder ducks, have extraordinarily soft down, but not all the other feathers. After reading that kind of helped to make things click. Which is good because honestly the results were gonna be for Tunic, so it then like went into like what's the softest feather, correct it. But and you know Reddit stuff. But yeah, I forgot about down feathers. So I should have expected that something here was going to be a direction. So it would be The softest feather would be down. Correct it 11 times. Depart it once more. I dropped my controller. So, if the feather means down, I kind of feel like there should have been a better thing than the softest feather. But I'm just an idiot, I guess. I don't know what I didn't think about down feather. Okay, well, I'm gonna not try to look any farther, so give me a minute to try to figure this out. Correct it 11 times. 11... Correct it 11 times. 11 times would mean, like, it just does something 11 times, so I don't think that would be a different thing. Whoa, what would be correct it? What would correct it mean? It wouldn't be down 11 times. Depart it once more. Depart it once more would be doing it one time. I don't think it would be down one time because that would be probably just... I think I get it. It's synonyms. Depart it would be left once more. Correct it, I guess, would be right. Like made right. I feel like it's a little scummy. We'll see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I definitely just kind of kept bashing the button without actually counting, so let's try that again. Oh. Okay, so I guess the left once more means do it 11 times once more. That one took me a bit. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I think having the puzzle be solved through, we got a TV. Time to look at our treasure room. Having the puzzle be solved by, like, having to translate the text, I think, is fine because that's all there. But then, like, again, maybe I'm just an idiot, but no, I don't know what down. I don't think about down feathers ever. I feel like it's just a kind of an awkward poem, and I don't know. It's probably fine. Not as cool as the Golden Path, but look at this stuff. I'm not gonna do the Little Mermaid again. Let's go in. I like how blurry everything is. Nothing is actually happening here. I assumed there would be something just because the everything should be lit up. I think things weren't lit up here before. I did kind of leave in a hurry before. Gonna find an octopus. I did not translate what the last page actually said. Don't think I did anyways. What does that say? That says like the gold. That probably says the Golden Path, I think. That looks pretty familiar. Support secrets probably doesn't quite translate to the... Well, that says the 12 treasures, so... Or... What does that say? I'm trying to translate without, like, looking at my notes. Which is even worse. What's that? Strange. Okay, took me a minute, but that says strange. Strange. Balls. Believe. Being. Beings. Strange beings. Great. So, I mean, that's the, like, octopuses, I guess. Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, I'm not really, How many of these are there? Is it cycle? Because every D-pad's doing something. Alright, let's try... I didn't think we were gonna run into some nonsense here. Also, the way it's... I'm assuming it has to be, like, in the little light to be readable. Because it also looks like text from the, like, up and right one. But then if you go over to it, that ends up not being what it is. Guess I'm not really anywhere near done then. I mean, I can translate this, but it, like, keeps going. Like, is there something I should be doing that will be, like... help me find... the right one? I saw a letter that I used before. Return eventually. So then, is it like, are each one of these a word? That's a lot of letters for a word. It can't just be a word. Where do I even start? Well, give me some time. I kind of tried to eyeball these letters, and from what I can tell, it's, nonsense. Like, I don't think it's gonna say anything. Like I said, I mean, I tried to cycle, and it didn't really cycle at all. So I looked at this and tried to, translate this, because realistically, the Golden Path one is a bit vague. The only thing Golden Path related to this was getting the last page, which I guess is unrelated. So, number 1 is find some rare golden statues, obviously. 2 is traverse the glow to visit 12 strange beings, which is where we are right now. And now 3 is a riddle. Unsing... I think it has to be un. I thought it was an to begin with, but... Unsing to them the greatest song, the song of the Golden Path, as seen from within. So I'm assuming what that means is that I need to... I don't know why I'm going to the page like it's going to have my notes on here. But I'm assuming what that means is I need to find my notes. Is do it backwards like I did before. So we will see if that works. I'm going to go stand over here. And we'll see if that works. I'm hoping this doesn't, like, I don't have to, like, translate the text as I try to put it in. I don't think it would work that way, because even if I, like... Unless if I have to do it from, like, starting from the beginning. I don't think that's going to translate to anything. Oh, it doesn't help that I'm not... Like, again, there's no indication of what would be the correct one. So, like, what, that's F? That would be F is down, then right would be... chair. It would say chair. F chair. So I don't like these letters here because they really throw me off. I'm kind of convinced they aren't related to anything, but I don't know unless if I need to relate them to these in some, like the numbers on here. Where's the I lost my note. Unsing to them the greatest song. So them being the octopus fellas. I'm assuming they're the strange beings. I didn't read the story yet, but I'll do that when we go to get the ending. Unsing to them the greatest song, the Song of the Golden Path. They spell that one out for us very well. I would have kind of, I think, had the idea for the greatest song, because I mentioned before that translating this page calls it like the greatest spell, which I wish it would just say the greatest song instead, but whatever, we won't talk about that. Let's not talk about that. So clearly it has to do with that. As seen from within. Unsing. I tried to do this also just forwards. As seen from within and unsing. Like that. That sounds like two things just telling me to do it backwards. Unsing the greatest song, the Song of the Golden Path, as seen from within. What would... This is like page 55. So it would be 54... I don't think this is going to help me at all. This is the page with the staple in it. So this is like the center. As seen from within. I mean, like, my assumption is page related. Obviously from the note of, follow the golden path, get ending B, basically is clearing the game to seek an ending. As seen from within. Unsing, I feel like, has to be backwards. As seen from within might be something different. I think I got it. It's starting to say something. It says, you fear the Oh God, I was on the right track when I thought within was related to the middle of the book. What it was is I was right about Unsing being just do the song backwards. I'm sorry, I'm a little that was a bit exhausting trying to figure it out. So backwards with Unsing from within is if you're in the middle here and you look at the golden page from this perspective, the golden path, I mean, it would be, you would be looking at the back page of it, which would mean then that you have to mirror the page, like look at it from the other side, which, I mean, that would have been a much better hint, I would say. And then I kind of tried to do that and just do the inverse, even do just the golden path normally. And I thought it would just do like a jingle, like you've done it right. But that didn't work. And then I think I tried to do the letter each time I did a new direction, but that didn't seem like that was a feasible option. Eventually this one looks like it's working. So give me a minute to translate. So based on what I've got, I think it actually starts here because there's a space. It says, do you fear the eyes of the far shore? Which the far shore is brought up in the story, which I will read eventually. I don't know what the deal with this is. And then this last one's like KOA. Or like, specifically from my notes. The OA is like the O in gold. So it's like coal. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I don't know what else to really go with that. And like this is just what reverses the letters you use. So it's, unless if it's a dot, it looks like a period, but what does ko mean? I'm not sure. I might try to look at this again later. This clearly is like a more extreme kind of puzzle. I do have like, because basically I took a screenshot of my drawing of the golden path, flipped that, and then wrote out the arrows, which works better, and I don't have to time it, so I can take my time. I might try to just figure that out later, because I'm kind of spent on that one. I think I'm kind of ready to just beat the game. I don't know if I want to even, I don't know. I'm kind of, like, really spent on that last one. That took me forever to try to figure out. And it was kind of exhausting. So before we beat the game, I did say I translated some text to tell us the story. I don't know why I'm going that way. It'll also talk about the far shore. Basically, the far shore is the, well, give me a minute. The far shore is this. I think. It seems like it. From the, stuff that I translated, because I think I had trouble finding SH for a while. I believe I'm going the wrong way. This one is far shore. That says far shore. This is this location. That's the far shore. I don't remember if it came up in the story, but I will read you the best that I can what I translated. I do think I might have gotten words wrong, or maybe I just don't know the words. I actually like wrote all this down specifically for this, and I'm kind of feel like I probably shouldn't have. So here we go. Story time. There lived a civilization of great power. They built a city, and within that city they built a palace. They held sacred in the secrets of the Holy Cross and understood the planar nature of reality. They ventured to the far shore and sought power from the species between. Was it species? Yeah, I think it was species. Some of these I have questions. I wrote out the whole paragraph because I'm like, okay, I think that's fine. So, I mean, it sounds like they just went into some Cthulhu nonsense, which obviously with the octopus-looking fellas makes some sense. This is the next paragraph. As is usual, an alluring old power was discovered. Fossils of self. Oh god, I really didn't know what I was saying here. Unnealed? I think I just didn't know what the word was. I'm sure it was unknelled visions. Alright, let me just go back for a minute. We'll pretend that I know what that word is, but as is usual, an alluring old power was discovered. Fossils of self. Unnealed visions of the future. I guess showed visions of the future. Entombed and cast into sarcophagus and buried. I had some trouble where I translated the wrong line, so that kind of is what happened there. A lever in the canonical plane. I'm assuming canonical plane, it came up at a different time. I'm assuming that's like the normal world and not the far shore, so like everything else is the canonical plane, but I'm not sure. A store of potential, perhaps it is the fabled prize, the power to defy death. Which sounds great and probably wasn't a mistake. Next page, page 4. I did write... I thought I wrote page numbers. Uh-oh. Did I at least write a terrible rise? Clearly I wasn't prepared for this. Which one says hero? Here we go. Yeah, oh, there's the number 4. I knew I wrote the numbers down because I was like, oh, that's a smart way to do things, and apparently I didn't. A terrible power rises. This one was weird to me. The discovering hero opened a tomb and revealed a terrible truth. A cathedral was built to venerate this new origin of life, and the faithful were granted the grace of holy oblivion. So it's like a terrible truth, but also let's just, you know, let's build a cathedral to venerate this new origin of life. Seems kind of weird, but okay. I don't know if the terrible truth was the long fox that is crucified. Because this is kind of, honestly, this doesn't really explain much. It's pretty vague. So it's not the most helpful explanation in my opinion. The world is thrown into ruin. The lever overworked, the fulcrum shattered. A hole in... What was that hole? I think it's hole. A hole in truth will thunder open in all manner of disquiet. Contradictions will gnaw apart the canonical plane. So, I mean, that's just a lot of, like, doomsday fluff. It sounds like, or I translated it wrong, but it makes words, so I'm assuming if it makes words, it's right. The threat is snagged into a squirming call with no beginning and no end. Flee to your arcs, old ones, and become your predestined selves. What did, where did old ones come in? That was just the old... It just said old, like... things, right? Not old ones. This is the last page. I'm sorry. I should have been more prepared for any of this. Old power. I'm assuming old ones is just the octopus because, you know, like Cthulhu. Did they leave on their arcs? I'm not so sure about this one. Let me reread that again real quick. And also the lever. I don't really know what's up with the lever. Again, I could be wrong about things. The lever overworked, the fulcrum shattered, a hole in truth will thunder open, and all manner of disquiet contradictions will gnaw apart the canonical plane. The threat is snagged into a squirming call with no beginning and no end. Flee to your arcs, old ones, and become your predestined selves. So, I mean, that's for this picture. I don't know if that's them taking over and causing havoc because the foxes did something they weren't supposed to. Like I said, maybe there's more dialogue. I didn't translate all of the paragraphs, just the like main story ones. So, a prison and a beacon. I'll find that note. Give me a minute. I said, give me a minute. Where did I put it? I don't think it's this one. This mentions page 7. I translated that, so that's this is page 7 right now. 5. I found it. Prison and a beacon. But one must live outside the shivering ring. The air seeking an heir to the air. A beacon to bring about a ruin seeker. Like I said, I think just generally the fox is a ruin seeker, and I think the other foxes when we were in ghost form are ruin seekers too. Either grow strong and replace an ailing heir, or to hold sacred holy cross and ensure their wisdom lives on. So replace bad ending we got, use the holy cross to get the manual completed, I guess, based on the other image. Awaiting a worthy successor. Which will you be, Ruin Seeker? Have you arrived here seeking treasure and glory, or do you seek to uncover deeper truths? Look carefully, for the golden path lies everywhere. So, you know, didn't translate that, but I did translate this one. Okay, let's, I wish we could zoom out a bit better, because the picture is cool. Like, look at that picture. You love that picture. And so the cycle continues. Ruin seekers drawn to the beacon are... Wrong line. Are tested. Those who abandon their quests are forgiven and simply disappear. So I think that's when they're ghosts. Those who are strong enough to remember their true hero selves will, through violence, begin the cycle anew. So I'm gonna go on a little diatribe here. Getting the halo, the what's it called? There's a word for it. Getting that and doing the... Give me a gosh darn minute. You would think I would know where every page is by this point, but I don't. Doing these... I translated this, but... Of course, my notes are all over the place. It says something about, will you become a hero? Let me talk and then turn away from the mic. That's a really good look. Alright, good. I found it pretty easily. How does a ruin seeker become a hero is what it says. So I didn't translate everything, but, I mean, become a hero by taking... that. I think it's called a laurel. I think that's what they're called. So that basically is what that part of the story is. If you just stayed a ghost, technically speaking, I'm sure you could beat the boss as a ghost, but it's like kind of the you gave up thing. So back to this note. Begin the cycle anew. Will you be the heir to the heir and wait within the shadow oblate? Before long, a ruin seeker will be drawn to you. Their gifts will recall your past life, and you will grant them the same false hope you were given. To break the curse, a ruin seeker must by some miracle Invoke a relic from beyond the plane. The book, most likely. I'm gonna assume it's the book. But wait! I also decided to do... Yep, give me a minute. One last one. Don't worry. These ones. I just need to find it. I think this is it. Alright, take your rightful place. Extinguish the beacon's last spark and become a fresh martyr. Courage that is untempered by kindness risks eating itself forever. Or Boros, kind of, you know, the cycle continues, etc. Or, and that middle one does say or. Wisdom that is untempered by kindness is no wisdom at all. Be free. I don't really know what that means. But we can assume that by having the full book, we can do something cool. So let's do something cool. Yo! Well, we're not fighting, so that's already a good thing. I got a book! I actually didn't see anything about this sword. Okay, I was gonna say it's kind of weird that the book's not coming up. Or the manual. What page did you flip to? Is that the one that tells you which ending you can pick? Also, you know, translating that stuff still doesn't help me understand entirely. But basically, they can move on and the cycle ends. Oh, they became normal fox. I'm guessing it's over now. It's all, and look, now we're besties. All these scenes with us chilling together. I mean, I already said what I had to say. Great game. I'm a little frustrated about that treasure room thing. Because I'm getting somewhere with it, but like, I would hope it's not just, here's a message. Like, do you fear the eyes of the far shore? Look at them just chilling. Headbanging it out. Like, so the aliens, right? It's maybe not aliens, but it's Lovecraftian style. There's some darkness that you shouldn't have messed with. So that caused this weird cycle thing. There's also like some of those wordings I don't know, and like I said, there's other texts that probably say things that I did not translate. I am most likely not going to translate it. I think I'm just going to look it up because the process of learning the language was cool. The process of translating it all, a little tedious. It's a little tedious after a while. So I think I've done my part in figuring stuff out, and I feel pretty fulfilled by that. And I am glad I did it. Thankfully, I had a lot of time to do that, or else I don't think I would have bothered with it. But like I said, I took screenshots on my phone, and then I just had time where I'm like, I know I won't be able to really do anything here. I'm just gonna hunker down and look at this. And I did, and it worked out. The Golden Path puzzle was great. I like how it incorporated the manual. I don't know what else I can do with that other room. I'm like, what does ko mean? Ko. What other notes do I have here? What is the secret of... I think I was looking at the keys. Like I said, I kind of started to try to do other sentences to figure stuff out. Light. Praying cards. I had a hard time with the SH. For a while I had the far, but did not know what shore was. What is this? What's the next piece of the puzzle? Every page has one. The shore, this one here specifically, is called the, what is it? I translate the name of this, but it's like the Ruin Seeker's Arrival or something. Like I said, notes are all over the place. Thank you for playing my game. I'll look deeper into some of this stuff, but I really enjoyed the game. The end, it's not a game over. Let's go. So I decided to be a little cheater, and I looked up what the message was that I had gotten at the end of that treasure room puzzle. And please forgive me, but I didn't really expect it to be a URL. So we're going to take a look at it. I think I deserve to be able to look at it because I did a pretty good job at solving it for the most part. I'm sorry I didn't know that CO was like a website thing. So we're going to paste that in. Do you fear the eyes of the far shore.co? And it's very spooky. When I looked it up, it said something about sound. Oh, I had to click it. I believe, I was told that there's some, sound language in the game. I believe this one specifically, you can look at the spectrogram for it, and it'll say something. I don't know if the sound language is spectrogram or, more specific than that. I didn't really look that far into it. This is a lovely sound, honestly. But, I mean, we still get, the general gist. The far shore is, Lovecraftian, beyond our imaginations, and the poor foxes had to live through a cycle of life and death because of it in some fashion. I don't know if the sword was the lever. I didn't really look that far into it. I still need to, read what the other manual pages say, because I don't know if anything mentions what the sword is. But yeah, okay, so that was the end-all puzzle. There's probably more to the game than just that I haven't really scratched the surface of, but that's going to be the end of Tunic. Thank you for watching. I'm going to get rid of the scary guy because he frightens me greatly.